Alright, what up folks? It's your man 100 Days of Summer. In this video, I want to talk about what I personally believe is the cause for the majority of suffering, at least in the Western world or in America currently. Alright, so the term that I use for it is Babylon. A lot of people have different understandings of Babylon, biblical understandings. If you listen to reggae music, you might hear it a lot in that, but my concept of it is a bit different than I think what most people mean when they say the word. But this comes from experience, from research, all this different type of stuff that I put together to begin seeing this thing. So I'm just going to tell you the story of that, and hopefully by the end of the story, you'll see the point, and then I'll try to highlight the point even more. All right, so Babylon means confusion, or the word Babel, it means confusion. It means, it comes from a story in the Bible where all man was united. All man was united. They had one language, one speech, and God said that there was nothing that basically would be restrained from man. Man could do whatever. He would be able to accomplish whatever he desired in this state. So that's the first thing. The first thing was all man was one, and they all spoke the same language, the same speech, right? And nothing that they desired to accomplish was withheld from them. Understand that. That is the definition of God. Hear, O Israel, thy God, thy Lord, thy Lord God is one. That word one means ikhad or ikhad. Ikhad, I guess you would say, you want to say with more English, ikhad. That's hard for me to even say it wrong. All right, so that word means united, unified, right? It doesn't mean just singular. So God is one doesn't mean singular, means unified. God is one, singular, unified. So we hear that same thing about man before Babel, unified, right? To man, things are impossible, but with God, all things are possible. We hear the exact same thing about man. Nothing would be restrained from man. Man would be able to do whatever desires. He would be able to fulfill them in this state. So then God comes and confounds their languages, or gives this person a different language or this person a different language. And then they scattered abroad. Then they can no longer work together. God, as far as man being in the image of God, right? One and able to accomplish all things, that was broken by God, ironically, right? So that right there, so that's the beginning of the story for me, right? But what I found is that Babylon today, so we're going to take language, because that's what was confused. That's what broke man up from being one, unified, and able to accomplish all that he desired, right? His language being broken up. Babylon today is not language. I don't even think it was really about language in that story. I think that story is a parable. But today, what you see is people can't agree on, say, for example, the concept of God. What is God? If you were to ask a handful of people, they would all tell you a different thing. That's Babylon. What is love? If you were to ask 5 different people, they would all say 5 different things. That, my friends, is Babylon. So do you understand why we can't accomplish the levels in God that we're trying to accomplish? Is because we can't, as one, understand God. We can't, as one, have a philosophy, a doctrine, a belief system, a practical belief system that bears fruit and results repetitiously. We don't have that for God. We don't have that for love. We don't have that for wealth. You understand what I'm saying? If you were to ask someone, when does a person become rich? You would get 10 different answers. But there is an answer. There is an answer. When does a person become rich? There's an actual time when that happens. But 9 out of 10 people don't know when that happens. What is love? There is a definition for love. And I don't mean the Webster's definition. I mean the definition that allows you to actually find fulfillment from love, as opposed to them telling you what you're supposed to get from love, and then you doing your version of love and you're not getting what you think you're supposed to get. There is a definition for love, one that is practical, one that actually gets duplicatable results. What is marriage? People don't know. They have no idea what it is. So they're doing it wrong because they don't understand its original function. I say this to people all the time. I say butter knives make really good screwdrivers, but they make much better butter knives. Meaning that we have taken things according to their original function, and we have evolved them to today. And then we're wondering why they don't work the same as they did then. So this is Babylon. And I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about this shit. This is the reason why I say that marketing is so important. Because as a marketer, I'm able to see all this stuff as Babylon because I use it to manipulate people in order to make money. It's my job to understand people better than they understand themselves. It's my job to understand their brokenness and how to capitalize on that. That's my job. That's as an independent. I don't work for a company or anything. I make money, passive income from the internet, from knowing how to do this stuff. It's what keeps a roof over my head, keeps my car note paid, and food on the table. So I know this shit in a very intimate, personal way. I know cutting edge marketing, not college marketing, which is outdated by the time you graduate and get your degree. I know cutting edge marketing from deca-millionaires who teach this stuff. So it's a totally different ball game for me when I see this stuff. So the way that I stumbled into this was through internet marketing. Doing internet marketing for about a year or so, I think, and then I began to teach people how to do what I was doing so they can make money from the internet as well. Then I started doing personal coaching. Once I started doing personal coaching, one-on-one help, I started to see a pattern with people. They would they would be excited, pay me that $1,000 for that coaching, do the one initial phone call, talk for about an hour, and then disappear. And this would happen over and over and over and over and over and over again for a series of years. This happened. And I tried to figure out exactly why it was happening. And when I was able to actually have conversations with the people who disappeared, some people stayed, but the majority disappeared. What I found was they had been so conditioned by the marketing aspect of how to make money online, the part that gets you so emotional that you can't even rationally think and just click the buy button and pull out your credit card and swipe or whatever. The marketing aspect of that promise that you can replace your job's income in 30 days just by paying $7 today. That type of mindset, that marketing message was now everywhere. It had pervaded the entire industry of internet marketing teaching. And now it had calibrated people's expectations. So by the time they got to me, someone saying, the real way to make money isn't so sexy. It's just about repetition. Find what works and then continually do it until you no longer need to do it anymore. Me telling someone you might not see results for the first 90 days, as opposed to someone saying, buy my course for $7 and you'll make $10,000 in 30 days. That person, they were conditioned by the Babylon of my industry. So when they got to me, they were repelled by truth and honesty and what it would actually take, the actual roadmap. What they were used to doing was paying $7, $14, $47 at the most, $47 to buy a blueprint that takes you from where you're at to financial independence. That's what they were paying for. But what they had no idea of was they were buying a roadmap to stay in a cycle of non-fulfillment, that they would continually seek answers from this person that they have now established as a trusted source of information and teaching. That's what they were stuck in. So when they got to me, someone that actually told them they would have to do work to accomplish anything, they rejected it. That, my friends, is Babylon. The majority of us have that. They taught us every aspect of our lives has been hijacked by people like me, marketers. You ask yourself, why do you eat bacon and eggs in the morning? Some of you don't, I know. But why is bacon and eggs a breakfast? You don't even know. It's because of a marketer. Why does every kiss begin with K? Why are diamonds a girl's best friend? Why are rappers spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on diamonds when they're worthless? Marketing. You don't understand. Why do people get married for love today? Marketing. You don't even understand. Why are there churches on every corner in the hood, but the hood ain't saved? Marketing. The marketing has created the Babylon, because after Edward Bernays, people stopped buying things because they needed them or because of their function, and they started buying them to solve some subconscious desire and level of fulfillment. Because at the end of the day, what marketers know that humans refuse to admit, we're animals. We're animals. And just like that cow can be regimented and domesticated, just like that dog can be regimented and domesticated, human beings have been regimented and domesticated into Babylon. So every time you're trying to find a solution, every time you're trying to get from A to Z, you buy this blueprint, or you buy into this blueprint that they've indoctrinated into your mind. They hijacked your imagination, just like I told you about Hollywood. They did that from a youth, because 0 to 7, you're pure subconscious, no conscious mind, meaning that if you program somebody from 0 to 7, that 7-year-old fulfilled self will be who they carry on the rest of their life, and they'll just add on layers on top of that. So good marketers get you at that age, and then they sell you your lifestyle the rest of your life. Because the first thing that they sell you is lifestyle, but they do it in a very clever way. They sell you lifestyle through TV shows and movies, and you think the product placement is that can of Pepsi or the Tesla or the Nikes. The product placement is the ideology, the mindset, the perspective that they want you to have as a person. And then they sell you things to fulfill that lifestyle that you believe was your idea. That goes with love, marriage, God, and let's go back to love, marriage, romance, God, and spirituality and fulfillment and manifestation in life. It goes to building muscle, eating healthy. If I were to tell you that you only had to work out 7 minutes a day, you probably wouldn't believe me. So it goes with that. It goes with eating healthy and dieting, how we have health food when you could just eat healthy food. You see how that works? Babylon. This is what I'm saying. And I could go on about this over and over and over and over. So if you haven't already, because I talk about this a lot, when I started to see this, the first place I saw this was internet marketing. And then I started to see this in every other aspect of my life. And then what I did was I went and found counter narratives to everything that the majority believed. Because what I realized was as a marketer, you're not selling to the few. You're always selling to the majority, and the majority is always wrong. The majority always moves as a herd, always. So what I started to realize was I had to stop trying to be as happy or happier than my neighbor. My neighbor is dumb. They are influenced by people like me. Babylon. They are influenced by marketing campaigns that they thought were actually lifestyle choices. So why would I try to compete with them? I need to find a totally unique way of being, because everything has become Babylon. Everything has become marketing. Every aspect. If you look at Edward Bernays' book, who is the father of this matrix that we currently live in, Edward Bernays. He has a documentary on YouTube called Century of the Self. You should check it out. You'll see just how heavily he has influenced our culture and how the industry that he created still lives on today to influence our culture. One of the main things we're fighting against is his style of public relations. That's what he rebranded propaganda as, public relations. That's what we're fighting against today. He is the father of this matrix that we live in. In the movie The Matrix, the green book that Neo pulls that little disc out of at the beginning, Simulation and Simulacra, or it might be Simulacra and Simulations, one of the two, that book was written about the world that Edward Bernays created. So in the movie The Matrix, the book that is about his world, so the movie The Matrix is about the world that we live in now based on Edward Bernays. Notice that when Neo comes out of the Matrix, when he takes the pill, what's the first thing he does? He sits down in that seat and he looks into a mirror that is in parts. And then he touches the mirror becomes whole, one image, and then the image on the mirror takes him over. It's the exact same thing Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13. 2 Corinthians, I don't remember, but he says, for we with unveiled faces, because in the one he says, for now we see in the mirror darkly, right? Means an enigma. We see in part, but then face to face. And then he says in another one that when the veil is removed, or when the enigma is solved, then the Bible basically becomes a mirror and you're transformed into the same image you see. So this is really just the beginning of me talking about this. This is something I mentioned in my lives a bunch, but a lot of people don't tune into my lives. So I have to start sharing these concepts on my page so I can get to where I really want to go with y'all. All right. So this is just the beginning of this. Let's talk about this in the comments. All right. I'll see y'all.